Forget Blackbeard and Captain Kidd for a moment. What if I told you one of the most feared pirates to ever sail the Caribbean was an African chief who escaped the horrors of a slave ship to forge a legend of his own? This isn't just a story of piracy. It's a tale of rebellion, survival, and a reign of terror that began long before many of the names you know. This is the story of Black Caesar. Our story begins in West Africa, where Caesar was a respected and powerful tribal chief. He was known for his immense strength, sharp intellect, and commanding presence. He wasn't a man to be trifled with. But the winds of change were blowing, and the dark shadow of the transatlantic slave trade was falling across the continent. One day, a slave ship captain, captivated by Caesar's impressive physique and obvious leadership qualities, hatched a devious plan. Instead of trying to capture him by force, which he knew would be a bloody and difficult fight, the captain used trickery. He invited Caesar and 20 of his best warriors onto his ship, feigning friendship and a desire for trade. He showed them a shiny gold watch, a marvel of European craftsmanship they had never seen before. Intrigued, Caesar and his men followed the captain below deck to see more of his treasures. As soon as they were in the hold, the trap was sprung. The hatches were slammed shut, the anchor was raised, and the ship set sail for the so-called New World. Caesar, a proud chief, was now a captive, chained in the darkness. But you cannot cage a force of nature. As the ship sailed across the Atlantic, despair turned to fury. Caesar refused to eat or drink, a silent, powerful protest against his captors. The captain, seeing his prize investment wasting away, knew he had to act. He couldn't afford to lose such a valuable slave. So he sent another sailor, a man who had also been captured and enslaved, to try and reason with him. This sailor, a trusted friend, managed to persuade Caesar to eat, not for the sake of his captors, but for the sake of his own survival. He whispered a promise, a chance for freedom. The two men formed an alliance in the ship's suffocating belly. Day after day, they waited for the right moment. Their chance finally came during a ferocious hurricane. As the storm raged, tossing the massive ship like a toy, chaos erupted on deck. The crew was panicked, struggling to control the vessel. In the confusion, Caesar and his friend broke free from their chains. They overpowered the terrified crew, seized control of the ship, and in a brutal twist of fate, killed everyone on board except for the sailors they needed to navigate. The storm that was meant to be their doom became their salvation. They steered the battered ship towards the coast of Florida, no longer prisoners, but pirates. They found refuge in the tangled mangroves and hidden inlets of the Florida Keys, a perfect labyrinth for hiding from the authorities. Here, Black Caesar began his new life. He and his friends started by attacking small, unsuspecting ships. Their methods were simple, but terrifyingly effective. They would often pose as shipwrecked sailors, waving frantically for help. When a compassionate captain would pull alongside to offer aid, Caesar's crew would swarm the vessel, swords drawn, taking the ship and its cargo. Elliott Key became his primary base of operations, a place now known as Caesar's Rock. But Caesar's ambition was greater than simply raiding small vessels. He wanted a fleet. Over time, he amassed a small but formidable force of pirate ships. He was a natural leader, and his reputation for bravery and brutality grew with every successful raid. He became a king again. But this time, his kingdom was the open sea, and his law was the edge of his cutlass. Legend says he built a harem of over 100 women he'd captured from passing ships, and kept a prison camp on his island where he would torture captives for information about valuable cargo. While these tales are likely exaggerated over time, they paint a picture of a man who ruled through fear and absolute power. For years, Black Caesar was the undisputed terror of the Florida Straits. His name was whispered with dread in every port from Havana to Charleston. He was a ghost, striking from his hidden coves and disappearing back into the mangroves without a trace. He was successful, wealthy, and seemingly untouchable. His reign of terror was so effective that it predated the so-called Golden Age of Piracy. He was a legend in the making, long before men like Blackbeard would fly the Jolly Roger. Eventually, the allure of even greater fortune led Black Caesar to join forces with the most infamous pirate of them all, Edward Teach, better known as Blackbeard. Caesar became a lieutenant aboard Blackbeard's flagship, the Queen Anne's Revenge. His experience, strength, and cunning made him a valuable asset to Blackbeard's crew. Together, they were an unstoppable force, their combined terror bringing the shipping lanes of the Caribbean and the American colonies to a standstill. They blockaded the port of Charleston, South Carolina, holding the entire city hostage. It was the height of their power, but all pirate reigns must come to an end. In 1718, Lieutenant Robert Maynard of the Royal Navy cornered Blackbeard at Ocracoke Inlet, North Carolina. The battle that followed was one of the most famous in naval history. Blackbeard fought like a demon, but was ultimately slain. In the chaos of the battle, Black Caesar tried to ignite the ship's powder magazine, choosing to die in a massive explosion rather than be captured. He intended to take everyone, friend and foe, with him. However, one of Maynard's sailors tackled him just in time, thwarting his final desperate act. Captured and bound in irons, Black Caesar was taken to Williamsburg, Virginia, to stand trial alongside the other surviving members of Blackbeard's crew. The verdict was never in doubt. For his years of piracy, murder, and mayhem, he was found guilty. In 1718, the African chief who became a pirate king was hanged. His life ended at the end of a rope, but his legend was just beginning. Even today, stories of Black Caesar's treasure persist. It's said that he buried a vast fortune, worth millions in today's money, somewhere in the Florida Keys. Treasure hunters still search for his lost caches on Elliott Key and the surrounding islands, hoping to unearth the riches of the pirate chief. Black Caesar's story is a powerful reminder that history is filled with incredible figures whose tales have been overshadowed. He was a man forged in the fires of injustice, who rose from the chains of slavery to become one of the most feared pirates of his time, a true king of the Caribbean. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into the hidden history of piracy, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another adventure. Let me know in the comments which historical figure you want to learn about next.